It's the million-dollar question. What's the secret to living a longer life? According to a new book, the answer goes way beyond just eating your greens and working out a bit. The rabbit effect shows that connection and kindness to others is the hidden factor behind good health. For more, I'm joined by Dr. Kelli Harding from New York. So, what did a medical experiment with rabbits show you about the importance of kindness in healing?
Absolutely. So it was a long road to get to this study, but this study really changed course of everything. So rabbits, basically, there was a study done back in the 1970s, and what it showed is that it was just a basic study looking at heart health in rabbits. But the researchers got a very surprising finding. Basically, with one group of rabbits, they had far better health outcomes than the other groups of rabbits. And when they looked around to try to figure out what was causing it, they noticed that one of the researchers wasn't just giving the rabbits kibble, she was also petting the rabbits, hugging the rabbits, and giving them love and kindness. So they replicated this experiment and they got the exact same results, and they ended up publishing it in Science. It was really groundbreaking because it was really one of the first studies to show how our social world impacts our health.
So is the lesson for the US healthcare system less drugs, more kindness?
Well, I think that question gets at there's a lot of pain, and I think, the solution for that isn't necessarily going to come in pills. In fact, it's not even going to come at a doctor's office. When you really look at what makes a difference to our health, it's what's happening in our homes, in our schools, in our workplaces, in our neighborhoods, and in our larger community. So yes, in fact, kindness is going to make a difference. And it's what the field of public health calls the social determinants, but it's what the rest of us call simple kindness.
So when we're all spending ages on the treadmill and making these juice cleanses, are we slightly missing the point and missing the lesson from the rabbits?
Well, I have to say, I was shocked. As a physician, we all think about sort of diet, exercise, sleep, the occasional visit to the doctor, but by far the thing that makes the biggest difference to our health, even more than our genes, is how we treat other people and how they treat us. And it's such an important message that I felt it had to be written in this book. And the thing is, this goes well beyond the rabbit studies. Basically, there's decades of evidence, studies showing all kinds of kindness that happens in all these different areas of our lives makes a huge difference to health. Probably medical care only accounts for about 10 to 20% of our overall health. Now, that being said, good access to medical care is important, but it's not the whole story. And even our genes are not as fixed as you would imagine. They actually also interplay with our social environment.
So as our society gets older, should we think about the importance of kindness really much more?
Oh my gosh, if you can invest in one thing for your health, it's probably your relationships. And there are lots of studies that show this. And the good news is that we don't have to invest in just one thing. You can still see your doctor and be a nice person. But I also want to say, kindness is a practice. It's the kind of thing where, you're not just sort of good or bad. It's the kind of thing you're constantly working on throughout your whole life. And it's the kind of thing that a listener out there tonight can just make a change. Reach out to someone who's been meaningful to you.
Dr. Kelli Harding.
A note.
That's great advice. Thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
Now, speaking of health and happiness, in South Korea's capital, Seoul, a daytime disco for the over 65s